Hi, this is Ashley back with Lumefinity. Today I'm going to show you how to make Maleficent. She is the evil queen from Snow White. And in order to create her, you will need 17 gold bands. These are the limited edition gold that I used from Rainbow Loom. If you do not have gold bands, you could always use yellow or even the jelly yellow. You will need one clear band for the top of her crown and one red band for her mouth, two purple bands for her eyeshadow, and about 25 skin colored bands. You'll need about 100 of the fuchsia bands. I'm using the Rainbow Loom fuchsia. 22 black bands. You'll need about 120 white bands to create this top portion of her dress. So if you want to go ahead and get the things that you need, then we can go ahead and get started. The first part that we're going to create today is her crown, and in order to create that we'll be using the gold bands. And like I said before, I'm using the Rainbow Loom Special Edition, Limited Edition gold bands. So in order to create that, we're going to start at the top of the loom in the staggered configuration, and you're coming down with a single band. We're going to do that again in the center and one on the right. Then we're going to come down with another single straight across. Then taking a, not silver, a single gold, and you're going to come out at the V from the center third to the left third peg. And from the right third to the center third. Then you're going to take a single and we're going to double it. And these are very hard to double, but you're going to come down once on the left, once with a single double on the right, and then twice coming down the center with a single double. You are then going to cap this center peg right here with a single clear band, and you're going to create 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we want to cap the outside, the left and the right fourth pegs. We'll be using gold for that. And just cap that off 4 times. And we need to place one crossover band, and we will be placing that down here, or at the top on the second peg on the right to the second on the left, creating your triangle. But you then want to actually form a diamond, so we're going to take the bottom and pull it down over this third center peg. Once all of this is in place, we can go ahead and loop this up. So we're going to go in the center first through the clear bands, grabbing the bottom, bringing them forward, stopping on that second or third center peg. We're then going into the right and coming forward, grabbing the first band, bringing it to the center, do the same thing on the left. We can then go in here and loop straight up the center. Repeat that on the right and also on the left. These bands in here, if you're using the limited edition, are going to be very tight. So we're just going to go ahead and release all of this up to those top pegs. I love how when you stretch these they lose their color and then you spring them back and all the gold comes back. grab a holding hook, and pull it off the loom. And this is what you'll have. So we are going to set that aside for later. The next part that we're going to be working on is the white top pieces of her dress. So you're going to need your white bands for that. And it is in two separate pieces, but I am going to show you how to make both of them because they go situate a different way on the loom itself. So you're going to start at the top of the loom with two white bands coming out to the left. Same thing going to the right. And this will be the left side of that piece, so we're coming down twice on the left with two white bands. And then coming in from the left to the center. Then filling in the center with the two white bands on each. And then bringing it over to the right side. And then we're going to fill in the right side. We're going to cap this off here on the right, creating 3 loops. And we need to place a couple crossover bands. So taking a single white from the right second peg, we're going at an angle up to the first left peg with a single band. And you're going to do that again on the third right to the second left, straight across. Once those are in place, we can go ahead and begin looping. So you're going to go in through the capping band, grabbing your first 2 whites and pulling them forward. Go back in, grabbing the next 2 and bringing them over to the left. We then want to go in, grabbing the center 2, pulling those forward, and then back in here, grabbing the next 2 and going to the left. We're then going to loom up the left-hand side. And bring this into the center. Then go into the right and bring your right side up. And then finish off by looming the center. We're going to grab a single white band and create a slip knot. And we'll go ahead and remove this one from the loom. And right now it looks like a little ball, but once we put all of the pieces together, it actually ends up looking like one whole piece from the front. Doesn't look like a ball coming off of her back. So set this one aside, and remember this one is your left-hand side because when we attach it, we'll be using that capping band, which will give it more of that half heart-shaped look. Let's go ahead and create the right side. So again, with your white bands on the center, going to the left, and from the center to the right. We are then going to come down the right side 2 times with double white bands. And then 2 white bands coming from the right to the center peg. Then with 2 white bands coming down the center. Two white bands from the center to the left at a diagonal. and then filling in our left hand side. We're going to cap off this left corner, creating 3 loops, taking a single white from the right top peg to the left second, and another one from the right second to the left third, straight across. Now we can go ahead and loop this one up, so go in through the capping band, grabbing your first 2 and bringing them forward, grabbing the next 2, bringing them to the right, going back in this center, the first 2 go forward to the top, and the next 2 go to the right. We'll then go ahead and loom up the right side, except my band broke. Give 1 second while I put my band back. There's one. And continue looping up to the top. Then we're going to go in the left side and loop that one straight up to the top. And then going straight up the center. We're going to grab a single white band and tie off the top center. I'm throwing hooks now. And this is the right side. So just set that one aside as well for later. The next part that we are going to create is actually the head. So we are going to start on the top of the loom with our black bands, and you're going to take 2 black coming off to the left and 2 black coming out to the right, and then 2 black bands down the center. Then we're switching over to our skin colored bands. And that is going to be 2 skin bands coming down the left, 2 more, and then 2 more coming into the center, and the same thing on the right. And then filling in the center of the face. And then we want to take 3 black bands coming off the bottom, which creates part of the neck. And we are then going to do the eyes. Now I've been using beads lately, but because of the eyeshadow I don't feel that beads are going to work, because there's no way to actually get this purple over the bead without it protruding from our face, and we don't want that. So we are going to take a black band and create 4 loops. We're going to do that again. Take a single skin colored band And we're going to pull all of that on. And we're going from the second right peg to the second left. And then separate the two sets of bands. And then just grab half of the band and pull it up over that center second peg, like that. We can also attach the crown. So you want to take your crown. There is 6 bands here. It's 3 sets of 2. And you're going to place 2 on the top right, 2 in the center, and 2 on the top left. I'm just going to flip this around because I'm left-handed. And then just make sure that it's centered on the top. And then we also want to place the mouth. And that's what your single red band was for. And you're going to take your hook, create 4 loops, taking a single skin colored band, and you're going to pull that on. Once we have the mouthpiece on, for just a minute we're going to set that aside. And if you don't know already, I had to edit something. Place these black bands back on. We're going to cap this bottom of the neck with a single black, creating 3 loops. And you're going to take a single skin colored band and we're going to create a triangle from the left 3rd pin to the right 3rd pin, just like that. Now what we want to do here is we're going to go into this capping band, grabbing those blacks, hold your capping band down and bring these forward. I'm grabbing my first 2 skin colored bands and bringing those forward, and we can go ahead and loop straight up the center. Now we want to take our mouth and we're going to attach this on this right side, 3rd pin from the top to the left 3rd pin. And go ahead and pinch this together. Now go in back through this black bands, grabbing the first 2 skin, bringing them up to the left, and we can go ahead and loom straight up the side. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Grabbed my eyes. Once we're at the top, you're going to grab a single black band, go in through the bottom, grabbing and pulling that up and through all of the bands, and then before you create your slip knot, pull up on your crown and just go underneath. And I'm going to pull the crown forward and create your slip knot on this back side here behind the crown. Now we can remove this from the loom. And then we're just going to straighten out our crown some. You can leave this out because this will actually be attaching later to something else. Her mouth, she usually has that puckered lip sourpuss face, so we want to pinch these bands together in the center there. And this is her head. And we will add the eyeshadow on at the end. Now another piece that we need to go ahead and create are going to be her arms, and we will be using our fuchsia colored bands for that. And you're going to take 2 fuchsia colored bands and you're going to come down 5 times on the left. I've already created one, so I'm going to show you how to make one and then just pause the video to make the second one. So with 2 fuchsia bands coming down 5 times. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then taking 2 skin colored bands, coming down once, and capping that off with 4 loops. Then you're going to go ahead and loom this one up. And then we're going to put it on a holding hook and set that aside. So go ahead and pause the video, make a second arm, and then we can continue on from there. Now that we have the attachment pieces in place, we can go ahead and begin assembling. And in order to do that, we are going to start with white bands. And these will be double bands unless I specify otherwise. So you're going to start at the top of the loom with 2 white bands from the center to the left. And repeat that going to the right. And then you're coming down twice with 2 white bands. And you're going to repeat that on both sides. You then want to come into the center with 2 white bands. Same thing on the left. Coming down the center from the first peg to the second peg with 2 white bands. And repeat that again with 2 more. Then we're switching over to black. So you are going to fill in the 3rd center to the 4th with 2 black bands. Then 2 more black bands coming out from the, it's technically not the chin peg because this is not her face, but we're going to call it the chin peg. So the chin peg out to the left with 2 black bands. Repeat that going to the right. And then also 2 black bands coming to the center. And this is where you'll need the bulk of your fuchsia colored bands. We are now going to come straight down, all the way down to the bottom here of the loom with 2 fuchsia colored bands. So just go all the way down. We are then going to repeat that in the center row, so just straight down to the bottom of the loom. And if you're ahead of me at all, you're going to be doing that on the right as well. So you're literally filling in the rest of the bottom of this loom with double bands, and they're all fuchsia. Now once you're at the bottom, you want to place 2 bands from the center bottom peg to the center left peg, and the same thing, center bottom to center right. We also need to create a little bit of an overlay in order to create where her dress comes out a little bit at the bottom. So in order to do that, you're going to essentially band over top of what you already have. We are going to start on the 4th peg from the bottom. You're going to take 2 fuchsia bands and you're going straight over top of what you already have, and do that again all the way to the bottom. So you'll have 3 sets. And you want to repeat that on the right side as well. You then want to cap off your 2 pegs. Is that what I did? Yeah. You're going to cap them, creating 3 loops on the left and the right. So it's 1, 2, 3, or it can come undone. Same thing on this side. We can also go ahead and place the arms, and those will go on your 2 shoulder pegs, which are the 4th pegs from the top. One goes on each side. And we also are going to be placing your collar extension pieces. And so this is my left piece. Remember, you had a left piece and a right piece. And in order to attach this, what you're going to do is take your hook, find your initial capping band that you had on the piece. It's, if you're looking at the circle or they got mixed up, it's pretty much at the base of the circle there. You're going to attach this to the 3rd, since this is our left piece, the 3rd peg from the top on the left. I'm going to go ahead and just put that on there. And let's go ahead and grab our other piece. Same thing, find the capping band and attach that to the 3rd peg down on the right. We then want to take, let me just look again how I attached this one. Okay. On the side here you have 1 band and then your next set of bands and this 3rd band. Just go in, grabbing this set of bands, which it looks like 4 bands, okay, and we are going to pull that up and attach it to this top left peg like this. Take this band, if you want to you could put this on first just so it's more secure, but we're actually going to feed it into this. So I mean, if you really wanted to, you could take these two of the bands, attach them, pull that piece on, and then attach this with it, which will just kind of loop it into the design, so you don't have to worry about trying to hide this later and it flopping back out. And we're going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to go up again into this 3rd section of bands, and just to keep things nice and neat, I'll take the back 2 and hook them, grabbing our slipknot band, and then take the front 2 of those same bands and pull those up, just like that. And then we also need to place some crossover bands So starting at the top, you'll take a single white on the second peg down, making a triangle. We're going to do that again on the next peg down with white, creating a triangle. Into the body, going to the 2 pegs below the arms and the shoulder pegs, right here, this will be a single double, fuchsia colored. So single double. And we're going to come down 4 times total with single double. So this is 1, single double, that's 2, single double, that's 3, and another single double, that's 4. And then in this section going forward, we want to drop to single, so taking a single fuchsia, and you're going to do that all the way down. Stopping on that one, we don't need one on the very bottom at all. So this is what you should have so far. Now the head we will attach when we get up into this area here. We don't want it getting in the way initially, so we will attach that portion later. And there's one other thing we're going to want to create and just have it ready for when we loop, except that I lost all my bands. You're going to need a couple of gold bands. You're going to take a single gold. You're going to create 4 loops on your hook. You're going to take another single gold and double it. Now, I don't know if you're comfortable working with it. I do work with it on my hook like this, and I can still loop. The reason I do this is if I don't do this, I will forget until I get like to the top and then realize it's not there. So if it's on my hook, it helps me to remember to attach it when we get there. If you want to move it to another hook until we get there, you could do that as well. But it's a single double, so it's not really gonna, it shouldn't slip down into your design or be in your way whatsoever. So now we can go ahead and start our looping process. And at the bottom, we need to loop up our extension pieces first. So in order to do that, we're only working with these 3 bands that we placed after we were done. So you're going to go in under your capping band, grabbing the first 2 fuchsia colored bands and bring them forward. And go ahead and loop up those 3 sets of bands, stopping there. Repeat the same thing on the left side and hold your capping band in place. Now we need to move these bands out of the way. So what you're going to do is down at the bottom, this is your capping band, leave that one alone. So grab this band here. So we're working with just these bands right here. Don't worry about any of these down here. And you're going to go in, I don't know how well you can see this, but you're just going to go in, pulling those first 2 bands over and to the left. We want to leave the crossover band in place. So the easiest way to do that without slipping is to go from the top, grabbing the bottom 2 portions of that band and pulling those over as well. So you'll do the same thing here, grabbing the top 2, pulling those over, and then from the top, pull the bottom 2 pieces over. And that should leave all of your crossover bands in place. So you're going to do the same thing over here. Now that those are out of the way, we can go ahead and loop the rest. So you're going to go in under your capping band, grabbing the next 2 bands, which come to the center. Same thing on the left side. And the rest of this, you want to go ahead and just loom straight up on the center, don't loop this black band up. So just bring your fuchsias up, stopping here. So I'm going to go ahead and up on the right side first. And then I'll do my left. And then my center. Okay, now we're going to go ahead in and we're going to loop up the arms. So go through the arms, grabbing the two black and bringing them to the center. We're going to do that again on this side. Then I'm going to grab this one and we are going to pull this onto that black for her necklace piece or her pendant. Make sure that the rounded part is facing forward. Now before we can loop up further from there, push this stuff down. We need to attach the bottom portion of her head for now. So you're going to flip her face down. Take your hook through that black capping band that we had created, and you want to attach her face on her chest. So her eyes go down. And you're going to attach it to the peg, this bottom peg right here. That's the fourth peg from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the one we're working on right now. And you're going to have to hold her face down some while you're looping these 3 bands. Okay, so we're going to go in, and with all these bands here, it's easiest to flip to the side. Going in, we want to grab those top 2 black bands, or the first 2 bands, which are the black ones. And bring those forward. I'm going to go back in, grabbing my first 2 white bands. And mine go to the left, and then repeat that with the next 2 going to the right. And then we can go ahead and loop up the right side of the, not really the head, but her collar piece. And loop up the left. Now, as we loop up the center, we do need to secure her head, otherwise it'll just flop forward. So, you're going to take your first 2 bands, the first 2 whites, and bring those forward. And then we are going to use this as a form of attaching. The more you have stretched this band during when you did the slip knot, the more you might want to have to play with how tight it needs to be. But I'm just going to go ahead and make like 3 loops around my hook. I'm going to go in, grab these 2 bands, and I'm going to pull all of this on to this band before I hook it. And we're doing that in order to hold her head up, because otherwise it's just going to flop forward. Now, once you're at the top, take a single white and go through all of the top bands and create your slip knot and pull tight. And then we'll go ahead and take it off the loom. Okay. Now, once she is off the loom, one of the things you want to do is take a single gold, and we're going to create her belt. So just to do that, go from the bottom and pull that onto her body like that. And if her crown needs to be straightened out, you can do that as well. For the purple eyeshadow, all you have to do with that is take a hook. You're going to go through the back of her head, coming out right next to the black portion of the eye. So like right in this area here. Take your purple band and pull that through. And then you can take another hook just to hold it still. Then you can go, that didn't stay in place. Wait a second. You want to go kind of low on the eyeball in order to get the right effect, I guess you could say. See? So it's kind of diagonal from this side of her face over to the top of the eye to give you a slight eyeshadow effect. You can secure that with a C-clip in the back if you are giving this to someone who is going to play with it, that the piece might fall out. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to go in kind of down towards the bottom of the eye. And then I'm going to go in again. And this one wants to go in the center. Me and Maleficent are not getting along today. And I always feel like I'm saying her name wrong. There we go. And then while you're messing with her, her lips probably will come apart, so just pinch them. If they keep coming apart, usually I just grab one of the band and kind of overlap it over the other one, just like that. And this is how you create Maleficent, the evil queen from Snow White. Don't forget to subscribe for updates on future videos, and I hope you like her.